The Raxiom LED Sequential Taillight Kit is going to be for the non-Cobra 96-04 Mustang owners that are looking for a sequential taillight kit that is plug and play. A lot of people feel like sequential taillights are a must-have aftermarket upgrade for these cars since it wasn't an option from the factory like it is in the newer Mustangs. The sequential taillight is iconic, so much so that Ford brought it back on their newer factory production models. This kit is a go-to kit because it's plug and play. The install for this is easy. I'm going to call it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter because this is a plug and play kit, which means that there will be no wiring involved, but I'll get into more detail with the install later. So as far as sequential kits go, you generally have 2 options. You can go with a cut and splice design that's going to require you to splice into the stock wiring harness and do some quick wiring for yourself, or you can go with a plug and play kit which requires no additional wiring, and that is one benefit that this kit right here is going to offer you. The kit is a direct plug and play replacement for the factory wiring harness, and we'll make sure to show you that later during the install. You can even reuse your stock taillight bulbs. In case you aren't familiar with a sequential taillight kit, sequential taillights were originally featured on the 1968 to 1970 Shelby, and they bring a touch of nice, tasteful, retro styling to the newer Mustangs. This kit is going to have a chaser sequence that is activated by a turn signal, your hazard lights, or braking. When a turn signal or the hazard lights are activated, the lights will sequence from the center light out and repeat until switched off. When the brakes are applied, the taillights will sequence once and then stay lit during braking. 2 things that I will say about this kit. These will not work with LED bulbs, so these sequential taillights will not work with LED replacement taillights or SVT Cobras with the rear amber turn signals. The other thing to note is that this sequencer will change the speed of the lights. If you would like a slower speed for the sequence, something closer to the traditional speed of a sequencer, you will need to grab a turn signal flasher. It's on the drop-down menu on the product page, so it's easy for you to grab. If you don't pick up the flasher, just be aware that the sequence may seem a bit speedier than normal. The taillights will still sequence in the proper order and everything will work fine, it just might be a little fast. When it comes to price, you can expect to pay right about $120 for this kit. Like I said, this kit offers the plug and play install and even the Raxiom full 2-year warranty. The modified turn signal flasher costs about $30, so altogether you can expect to spend about $150 for both the sequential kit and the flasher. So the install here is really pretty easy and we can thank the plug and play feature for that. It should take about a half an hour's time and it's going to be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Let's head over to an install bay and I'll show you how it's done. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pop your trunk. There are going to be 4 11mm nuts holding each taillight into place on each side. You're going to need to back those nuts off because we actually have to wiggle the taillights out a little bit so we can get to the whole harness. Alright, so you'll have to pull back your trunk liner a little bit so you can get to all 4 of the nuts here, and you are going to want a deep socket for this. Alright, so your 4 nuts are going to be here, 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 and here. Next, you're going to want to unplug your harness before you pull your taillights from the car, and you're just looking at a simple electrical connector for that. So once you have your headlight out and resting here, you're actually going to want to work at this grommet because you're going to take this entire wiring harness out of the car and replace it with your new sequential harness. So it can be a little bit tricky, the grommet can be a little bit tough, but you're just going to work at it and pull it out and get your harness to pull through. From there, you're going to take your headlight and you're going to remove all of your bulbs here so you can swap out with your sequential harness. All right, so in order to get your bulbs out, you're just rotating them to the left. take this harness and swap your bulbs into your new harness. So the only thing you're really gonna wanna keep separate here is your reverse bulb. So I know that this right here is my reverse bulb. So your reverse bulb is gonna go into your unmarked socket here. So I'm just gonna transfer that over now. All you really gotta do is pull up, maybe wiggle a little bit. Press it into place. All right, so now I'm gonna set my stock harness aside and I'm gonna take my sequential harness and plug it into the back of my taillight. Now there is a specific order that you need to do this in. Basically, I'm gonna position the taillight like it was, so I know that I'm going to feed my harness in with the grommet through the hole here. Just so I can get this laid out correctly. Number 1 is going to go in this first slot here. So you can see the numbers here. It's labeled 1, 2, and 3. And the one that isn't labeled is your reverse light. So I know number 1 needs to plug into this spot here. And then we have 2 and 3. So you're just basically going to line up the tabs and then rotate so that these sit in there. Reverse bulb is going to go in. All right, so our next step then is we're going to work this grommet back into the correct place and feed our harness through to the inside of the car. You want to make sure that your grommet comes all the way through and is sitting flat. So now that I have this one all ready to go, I'm actually going to leave it here sitting like this so that I can test it later on before I bolt this back in. But I'm going to move to the other side and do the driver's side now. All right, so real quick before I bolt these back down into place, I'm gonna jump in the car and test them and just make sure they're working properly. And I would suggest you guys do the same thing, just in case you have to change anything around. You don't want the hassle of unbolting them just to get to the harness again. All right, so I tested the taillights. Everything seems to be working great, so I'm actually gonna get the nuts back on and get these things bolted down and back into place. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up this install and review, but you can always check this product out more online right here at AmericanMuscle.com.